wearing suspect went on a subway shooting rampage this morning at the Sunset Park station in Brooklyn, New York. Look at your screen. Just look at it. Horrifying images of the attack. The NYPD tonight released this photo of a man named Frank James, who authorities now say is a person of interest in the shooting, who is believed to have rented a U-Haul truck that's connected to the attack. And according to multiple reports, including the New York Times, this person of interest has a disturbing online footprint, including making multiple videos where he reportedly goes on rants about race and police and gun violence and other topics. Here with reaction, former New York City Mayor, dollars they cut, they didn't do it. Rapes, murders, stabbings, homicides, not just New York, every major city now through the roof because of defund, dismantle, and no bail laws.
$1 billion.
Live footage of New York authorities. They are hauling away that U-Haul truck believed to be connected to today's subway rampage in Brooklyn. We'll bring you the latest updates as they come in tonight. First, more evidence.
In the end, a total of 29 were injured. Thankfully, all wounds were non-life-threatening. A 9mm at the scene, along with a hatchet, gasoline, fireworks, and hobby fuse. Now, just a few hours ago, the NYPD announced a person of interest, 62-year-old Frank James.
Mr. James
This is not only a New York City problem. This rage, this violence, these guns, these relentless shooters are an American problem. From schools in Columbine, Sandy Hook, and Virginia, to music festivals in Las Vegas, to nightclubs in Orlando, to movie theaters and yoga classes across the nation. These killers have used weapons of mass destruction to massacre innocent people. We can never stop the killing, but we cannot stop the guns.
You're right.
Yes, subways are a law enforcement first responder nightmare. We saw that in Europe after 9/11. We've seen it in different events in New York City. And when you're targeting a subway at rush hour in Manhattan or Brooklyn or what have you, you're trying to inflict mass chaos and mass casualties. And that brings to mind terrorism. And I wouldn't rule out terrorism here. Terrorism is defined as trying to affect political change or social change through force and violence.
Hey, if you see something, speak up. Today, they not only spoke up, they acted. They went out there, they applied these makeshift tourniquets. They saved lives today, and we need more of that together.
Oh, that as our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases. Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation. But that's not our view. Our experts believe, and the data shows, that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary.
The right, and especially among the Trump right, that there's this Biden inflation situation happening in the country.
Right-wing parties scaremongering about inflation and wages going up too high.
Well, the Angle predicted the inflation bomb over a year ago. That's what they were talking about, I guess. And indeed, it's really, really bad. And even though the left was finally forced to drop its inflation denial, reporters are still trying to leave Biden wiggle room.
While deeply troubling to the White House, the U.S. inflation rate is nowhere close to a record, with nearly 15% inflation in the early 1980s, along with soaring unemployment. Today, a low unemployment rate of 3.6% and a strong demand for workers offers optimism about the prospect for a stronger economy ahead.
Optimism? What is he reading? Well, he forgets his basic economics and never learned it. When stuff gets expensive, as it is, consumers pull back, as they are, and businesses start laying off. It's inevitable.
Inflation above 4, and we've had unemployment below 4, essentially always since World War II. That's been followed by a recession.
Now, in fact,
Everything within my power by executive orders to bring down the price and address the Putin price hike. In fact, we've already made progress since March inflation data was collected. Your family budget, your ability to fill up your tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war and commits genocide in a half a world away. To help deal with this Putin price hike.
oh my gosh, he's still trying to sell that tired old line? All right, good luck with that. Independent would have gasoline down at around $2 a gallon. That would be a huge relief to our families. And had Biden stuck with Trump's economic policies, would still have low inflation and maybe even rising median income, which Trump had. But his team of dolts refused to concede